and welcome to episode number 48 of Basha's Thoughts. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I once heard someone call Thieves of Joy. What is it that steals your joy? Well, there are two things that I was thinking about, and they are actually intimately connected. One is expectations, and the other one is judgment. So, I've been living in a place where people are very present. There's a lot of poverty, and people tend to be very present and in the moment. And you kind of have to get used to things not really going exactly the way that you planned them. They don't really work out that way. And so you have to let go of your expectations, or this will be a very unhappy place for people to live in. I've been here for a decade, so I've had time to get used to it. And I can see sometimes people coming here and being here for, say, 6 months and telling me all the things that are not working and how people are not acting as the way they tell you that they will act. They are not doing what they said that they will do. And things in general are just not working. And when I listen to them, I remember, hey, this was me. This was me not too long ago. I had such high expectations, and my focus was so much on the expectations that I wasn't really that present in the moment. And I can see how it is the holding on to those expectations that makes people frustrated. Often you are frustrated because things are not turning out the way you wanted them to. So there's a judgment about what things should be like, how things should work, how people should be, and all kinds of expectations. And when we hold on to them, and we are in a society that actually works very well and always gives you exactly what you expect, you would think that this is a good thing. And it kind of is. Sometimes it can feel that way. But being in a place where none of your expectations come to be is actually, in the end, very liberating. Because in the end, you face it and you have to just give up your expectations. And once you do that, life becomes beautiful. So say that you're going into town and you have the expectation of doing some things. You have a list to do and you want to accomplish some of the items. You might want to send something, might want to buy something, might want to resolve some issue somewhere. And so you go into town and you plan everything out and you have these expectations. Now, if everything goes according to your expectations, then you won't be particularly happy about it. You will be, okay, well, it went as I expected. That's it. Good. Now I continue with my next plan. But if you've lived here for a while, well, then you still get to do things. You still get to plan some things because you still get to have things to do. So you might go into town and imagine that you have some things that you would like to do. But now, for me, whenever I go into town with sort of a list, you could say, it's not a list of things I need to accomplish today. It's an inspirational list of directions in which I might move. And then we will actually see what the universe has in store for me. What magical moments will appear? What kinds of things will come up? Where will I end up? It's so interesting. I have no idea what's going to happen. And it is so much more fun. And if in the end I actually end up getting these things done, I will be happy. And every time I manage to get one of these things done, I am truly thrilled. So in the end now, whenever I go and do my to-do list, it's a magical ride where I get to be much more present in everything I do, paying attention to all kinds of things that otherwise would have seemed irrelevant. So I get to be more present and I get to experience things that I would never have imagined. And then in the end, I sometimes get them done. And that's a lot of fun in the end. But it's only fun once you let go of the expectations. So of course, learning to let go of expectations is not something that you do once and for all, and it relates to everything. You might be able to learn to let go of certain types of expectations, but not others. So it's a process, but I can tell you that it's a very liberating one, and one that makes me so much more relaxed, present, and happy. And because expectations are judgments, in a sense, they are judgments of what you expect of the world, how you expect it to be. And when it doesn't happen, it can be painful because you're not able to control things. You're not able to make things happen the way you wanted them to. And so that may make you feel powerless. And feeling powerless is not so good. This is where judgment often comes in. This is where we will often tend to be more judgmental. So often, instead of feeling the pain of being powerless, of not being able to, of being inferior, sometimes even unworthy, instead of going there, sometimes we find a way of reacting, and so we react in judgment. And we judge maybe others, situations, things. And of course, it is a painful situation. It's not a pleasant thing for us. And it's not a pleasant situation for others who are being judged. Our interactions with other people are not positive experiences for us or for them. And I think that the judgment has to do with this idea of wanting to feel at least a little bit in control. Well, this is how things should be. Well, you're wrong. This isn't how you should be doing things. And for a moment, in some sense, we feel like we have a little bit more control. Of course, this is not true. But maybe it feels better in the moment than having to actually tap into the pain of feeling powerless in the moment. And so judgment becomes a type of pursuit of external power in order to manipulate and make things happen. In my case, when it comes to to-do lists, I find that if I call them inspirational lists, then it just becomes so much more fun. Everything becomes more like a game. And whatever happens is interesting and I show up for, and it is something that I am present for. Of course, I am surrounded by people who are so much more present than I have ever been. They are able to pick up so many things. There was a boy that I talked to who's 12 years old. I was walking with him through a wooded area and I asked him, "What is around us?" And immediately he could tell me all the kinds of birds that are around us. He was able to tell me where they were, and then he would try to point them out to me. And all of these things is something that he naturally is aware of all the time. At one point, he actually pushed me, and I was surprised. What are you doing? What's going on? And he pushed me because I was about to step on a snake. And he said, well, this one is a little bit aggressive. It would have bit you if you would have stepped on this one. So he's able to pick up on so much more. And even people in the city are so much more present. I remember one time I was walking down the street with another person, and then an hour later I went back to this street because I was looking for that person. And someone who was working in a shop came outside and told me, oh, she went into that store, and pointed to another store. So they were aware that I had walked past there with this other person and that now I seemed to be looking for someone, so they just solved the problem for me. To me, this is somewhat amazing. How can you pay attention to all of that when you have so many people walking by the store all the time? And yet it's just natural for them. You see it in the smiles. If you smile to a person, you can see a genuine response right now to your smile. And the smile is not a fake one. You can see the light in their eyes. And this is something that is quite natural when you are much more present. People who tend to live in the present moment, who do not have many expectations, they tend to be closer to their joy as well. And you can easily put them in that state. And when it comes to expectations, you have expectations about others, about other things, but often you also have expectations about yourself, about what you're supposed to do, who you are supposed to be, how you're supposed to act. And sometimes you don't really quite live up to those expectations, and then you feel very bad as well. And when you do live up to those expectations, again, it's just normal. You're not particularly happy about it. You're just normal. This is what you expect. And I had those expectations as well here. So one expectation I had was that I arrive on time. When I tell you that I will be at some place at 5 o'clock, I will be there on time. And if I feel that I'm starting to run late, I will abandon everything. Well, actually, I will abandon myself most. So if I'm running late and I feel that actually I need to go to the bathroom right now, I need to pee. But no, I will hold the pee and I will just run because I told you I would be there at 5, not 5:02. And so I will run and I will abandon my bodily needs. I will not pay attention to what I'm feeling, where I am. And as I run to fulfill the expectation, my focus will be on that. And I will be feeling so bad. I will be making myself feel so bad inside as I'm running because I'm late and I feel guilty and I feel bad and I have no idea what's actually going around me. I'm not noticing the beautiful things, the magic. I'm not really noticing my life at all. I'm just really focused on something that is making me feel very bad. And one time I was in a meeting and it was going to be actually a type of educational meeting that would last a couple of hours. And one of the persons came an hour late, and the leader of the group asked her as she walked in, "Hello, how are you? Nice to see you." And then, "How are you?" And the person was so happy. She walked into the room almost dancing and she said, "Oh, I'm doing great. I'm so happy. You know what? This morning when I was on my way here, I felt this urge to bake a cake. I haven't done that for a while. And so I did. I baked a cake." And when I was listening to this, it was surreal to me. It was a different world, a totally different reality. And this girl actually really helped me. After that, I was able to let go and loosen up on my expectations of me as well. And so now, whenever I feel that I'm starting to run late for some appointment, I no longer feel that enormous stress. Instead, I am able to be present, and I am able to feel, actually, I might need a little bit of water before I go. And I do that. And as I waltz out the door, I can feel the air outside. I can feel the sunshine, and I smile. I might even hum something. And I am much more present as I go to wherever I'm supposed to be. And then when I arrive, I smile and I am happy to be there. And because right now I'm in a culture where arriving a couple of minutes late is not even noticed by anyone, everyone else is happy too. And we are able to be present and just happy to see that, oh look, we set up an appointment and we both arrived. It's funny, but it's something that is so useful. It has made such a big difference in my life when it comes to the quality of my life. Because also learning to let go of some of the expectations I have around myself and just being more present for what actually is and not what is supposed to be, how I'm actually acting and not how I'm supposed to act, is so much more beautiful, liberating. And it does create a lot more joy. And so expectations and judgments really are thieves of joy. I can truly feel that in my life. That was it for today. I might talk to you in another podcast episode. Take care.